For 7 years, no woman dared to walk too close to CEO Min Jae. Not because of him, he was a polite, calm man, the kind of man who bowed respectfully in public and spoke in a voice so smooth it sounded like music. No, the problem was his daughters. 2 7-year-old girls, Hannah and Haein. Identical twins with sparkling almond eyes, glossy black hair always tied in ribbons, and mouths that never stopped talking. They were known in the city as the twin bodyguards. Everywhere their father went, they were there, hands on their little waists, chins lifted proudly, glaring at any woman who dared glance at their dad. "Excuse me, sir." A waitress once tried to speak to Min Jae at a cafe. Hannah had slammed her tiny palm on the table and shouted, "Back off! He's married to our mommy in heaven. Find your own husband." The poor waitress had turned red and run away, nearly tripping over a chair. Haein, not satisfied, added loudly for the whole cafe to hear, "Some women just don't understand boundaries." The entire place had burst into laughter. By now, everyone knew no woman could go near the Korean CEO. At home, the situation was no better. Nannies came and went like seasons. One lasted 3 days before the twins locked her outside in the rain. Another one quit after Haein whispered during dinner, "You're only here because you think Daddy is handsome. Shame on you." Min Jae tried everything. He even hired a 55-year-old housekeeper once, thinking age would protect him. But after 1 week, the twins fired her too. "Daddy," Hannah had declared, arms crossed. "She burned the rice." "Yes," Haein agreed, shaking her head. "She's sabotaging us." Out. And just like that, another woman was gone. People whispered behind Min Jae's back, "Those girls aren't ordinary. They're miraculous children. Didn't the doctors say they wouldn't survive birth? Yet here they are, stronger than everyone. I heard they see things before they happen. No wonder they chase people away." Min Jae ignored the gossip. All he knew was that he loved his daughters fiercely, even if they ruled his life like 2 little queens. But sometimes, at night when the twins were asleep, he sat alone in his study, staring at his late wife's photo. He whispered to the silence, "How much longer can I do this alone?" The turning point came on a bright Monday morning. The mansion was unusually noisy. The twins were chasing each other down the marble hallway with their school bags, giggling as their shoes tapped like drums. "Appa!" Hannah shouted, sliding into the living room. "Why are there strangers outside?" "Yes, Daddy?" Haein echoed, peeking from behind the curtains. "There's a lady at the gate. She has a sketchbook. Probably another one of those women." Min Jae sighed. "She's not here for me. She's here for the house." "The house?" The twins chorused, blinking in confusion. "Yes, she's an interior designer. Her name is Olivia. She's here to help redesign the living room and your study." The twins exchanged a look. The look that meant, Operation Get Rid of Her begins now. They stood side by side, arms crossed like 2 tiny bosses, as the front door opened. Olivia stepped in. She was tall, graceful, with warm brown skin that seemed to glow under the morning light. Her curly hair was tied neatly, and she wore a simple cream blouse tucked into black trousers. She carried herself with quiet confidence, sketchbook in one hand, a soft smile on her lips. The twins prepared their death glare. But then Olivia did something unusual. She knelt down, right there on the polished marble floor. She bent to their height and tilted her head. "Well, well," she said warmly, her accent wrapping around each word. "Are you two the bosses of this mansion?" The twins blinked. Nobody had ever said that before. "Yes," Hannah blurted out before she could stop herself. "Of course," Haein added quickly. "Daddy just pays the bills. We sign people out of his life." Olivia gasped dramatically, placing a hand on her chest. "Really? So I should report to you, not him?" The twins burst into laughter. Actual laughter. Not the evil giggles they used to scare people. Real, belly-shaking laughter that echoed through the hall. Min Jae froze in shock. He hadn't seen his daughters welcome a stranger in years. The banter began immediately. Haein, squinting, "Why are you smiling at our daddy?" Olivia, pretending to frown. "Oh no, should I frown at him instead?" Hannah, giggling, "Yes, that will keep him humble." Olivia, mock whisper, "Got it. Serious face only around daddy." The girls giggled so hard they rolled on the couch cushions. For the first time, someone had survived their test. And not just survived, but passed it with flying colors. Later, while Olivia examined the living room walls, the twins followed her like shadows. "Why are you drawing the house?" Hannah asked, peeking at the sketchbook. "So I can make it prettier," Olivia answered. Hayan frowned. "Prettier than us? That's impossible." Olivia grinned. "True, nothing is prettier than you two, so maybe I'll just make the walls jealous." The twins squealed with laughter again, collapsing onto the carpet. From the corner of the room, Min-jae watched quietly, his heart tugging in a way it hadn't in years. Something about this woman was different, and his daughters, his little bodyguards, they felt it too. That night, when the twins crawled into bed, Hannah whispered to her sister, "She's not like the others." "I know," Hayan replied, staring at the ceiling. Maybe Daddy should keep her." The house fell silent, but a new chapter had already begun. The next morning, the mansion buzzed with unusual energy. Normally, breakfast was a battlefield. The twins argued over who got the bigger slice of toast, who sat closer to Daddy, and whether the orange juice was freshly squeezed or not. Min-jae had mastered the art of sipping coffee in silence while chaos unfolded. But today was different. The twins were whispering instead of shouting. Every few seconds, they glanced at each other with wicked little smiles. They were plotting. "Appa," Hannah finally asked, her eyes too wide to be innocent, "is Olivia coming again today?" "Yes," Min-jae answered, not looking up from his newspaper. "She'll be here at 10 to finish measuring the rooms." Hayan smirked, kicking her sister under the table. "Good. Perfect." At exactly 10 o'clock, the sound of heels clicked across the marble floor. Olivia entered the mansion again, sketchbook in hand, dressed simply but elegantly in a navy blouse and jeans. The twins were ready. They darted to the entrance, blocking her path with arms stretched wide like two tiny security guards. "Password?" Hannah demanded. "Yeah," Hayan added, her chin tilted. "Nobody enters without the secret password." Olivia didn't flinch. Instead, she tapped her chin thoughtfully. Let me guess. The password is Princess Trouble?" The twins gasped in unison. "That's cheating," Hannah cried, hands on her hips. Hayan squinted suspiciously. "Did Daddy tell you?" Olivia leaned close, lowering her voice to a dramatic whisper. "Nope, I can read minds." The twins shrieked with laughter, falling against each other. "She's crazy," Hannah shouted between giggles. "We like her." From his study, Min-jae almost dropped his pen. He couldn't believe it. Another day, and this woman had already won their hearts. But the twins weren't done. As Olivia began sketching the dining hall, Hannah tugged at her sleeve. "Do you know how to cook, Miss Olivia?" "Of course," Olivia replied. "Why?" Hayan leaned in, smirking. "Because every woman who comes here fails our cooking test. They can't even make rice properly." Olivia raised a brow. "Is that so? Then maybe I should take the test." Within minutes, the kitchen turned into a war zone of giggles and flour. The twins sat on the counter like judges, feet swinging as Olivia tied an apron around her waist. "What's the challenge?" Olivia asked, rolling up her sleeves. Hannah grinned mischievously. "Make our favorite snack." "And what is that?" Olivia asked. Hayan folded her arms. "If you're a real mind reader, you should know." Olivia pretended to think hard, tapping her forehead dramatically. Then she gasped. "Aha! Pancakes with too much chocolate syrup." The twins screamed. "She knows." The kitchen filled with laughter, sizzling butter, and the smell of sweet batter. Olivia didn't just cook. She danced around the kitchen, balancing spoons on her nose, making faces with flour on her cheeks, and letting the twins stir the mixture until half of it spilled on the counter. By the time she flipped the last pancake, the twins were clapping like little cheerleaders. When they tasted it, their eyes widened. "Perfect," Hannah said with her mouth full. "Unbelievable," Hayan mumbled between bites. From the doorway, Min-jae watched silently. His daughters hadn't called food perfect in years. Not since their mother passed. Something inside his chest ached. But this time, it wasn't from sadness. It was something warmer, lighter. Later that afternoon, the twins decided Olivia had passed phase 1. Okay, Hannah said seriously, handing Olivia a pink notebook. This is your contract. Olivia raised a brow, opening it. The pages were covered in childish scribbles and rules like, Rule 1, no smiling too much at Daddy. Rule 2, always listen to us first. Rule 3, bring snacks every day. Rule 4, never quit like the others. Olivia chuckled, flipping through it. And what happens if I break the rules? You'll be fired immediately, Hayan said, her face dead serious. Fired without pay, Hannah added. Olivia gasped dramatically. But you're not even paying me. That's the point, Hayan said smugly. The three of them burst into laughter again. That evening, something strange happened. The twins, who usually refused bedtime unless they got 3 bedtime stories, climbed into bed without a fight. They snuggled under the covers and whispered to their father as he tucked them in. Appa, Hannah said softly. Yes. Can Olivia come again tomorrow? Yes, please, Hayan added. She's fun. She doesn't get scared of us. Min-jae froze, staring at his daughters in disbelief. They had never asked for anyone before. He kissed their foreheads gently, turned off the lights, and stepped out of the room. In the quiet hallway, he leaned against the wall, running a hand through his hair. For the first time in years, the weight on his chest didn't feel so heavy. Maybe, just maybe, this woman was about to change everything. The twins woke up early the next morning, which was already suspicious. Normally, Min-jae had to drag them out of bed like sacks of rice, one pretending to be asleep, the other screaming about 5 more minutes. But today, they were dressed before the alarm clock even rang. Appa, Hannah said sweetly, her smile way too innocent. Can we skip breakfast and wait for Olivia? Min-jae squinted at them over his coffee. Why? Because, Hayan answered with a suspicious sparkle in her eye. We're planning a surprise for her. Min-jae's eyebrow twitched. A surprise from his twins usually meant disaster for someone. But he sighed, deciding to let it go. He had board meetings and couldn't spend the morning chasing pancake bandits. By 10, Olivia walked into the mansion, humming softly, sketchbook in hand. She wore a casual cream dress today, her braids tied up in a bun. The twins pounced immediately. Olivia! Hannah cried, pulling her into the living room. Today we're playing a game, Hayan declared, pushing a chair toward her. You have no choice. Olivia laughed, settling down. A game? What kind of game? Hannah grinned mischievously. It's called Trap the Intruder. Olivia gasped dramatically. An intruder? But I'm your friend. Hayan said, stroking her imaginary beard. We're not sure yet, so you must pass the traps to prove it. The first trap was simple. They blindfolded Olivia and spun her around until she was dizzy. Then they whispered rules into her ear. You must walk across the carpet, Hannah explained, without stepping on the lava tiles. Olivia peeked from under the blindfold. And how do I know where the lava tiles are? That's the point. Hayan giggled. The twins scattered pillows, toys, and shoes all across the floor, then clapped their hands in excitement. Olivia wobbled forward, arms stretched out like a zombie. Left! Left! Hannah shouted. No, right! Right! Hayan argued. She's going to fall. Good. Let her fall. Olivia pretended to scream dramatically every time her foot almost touched a pillow. The twins laughed so hard. They rolled on the floor, clutching their stomachs. In the end, Olivia reached the sofa safely and collapsed like she had just survived a war. I made it! Victory is mine. The twins cheered, jumping up and down. She passed level 1. Level 2 was sneakier. Now you must answer our secret questions, Hannah announced, crossing her arms like a judge. Yes, Hayan agreed. And you can't lie. If you lie, we'll know. Olivia leaned forward, intrigued. All right, hit me with your hardest questions. Hannah asked first. Do you like our daddy? Olivia froze. Like him how? Like him? Hayan clarified, raising her brows. The way people like each other in dramas. Olivia burst into laughter. You two watch too many dramas. That's not an answer, Hannah pressed. Fine, Olivia said, pretending to think deeply. I like him as my boss. The The twins groaned. Boring. Hayan leaned closer. Would you marry him if he asked? Olivia gasped so loud it made them giggle. You two are worse than reporters. Answer, Hannah shouted. Okay, okay. Olivia raised her hands in surrender. If your daddy asked me to marry him, she paused dramatically, I'd first ask if you two approved. The twins exchanged wide-eyed looks, then squealed so loud, Min-jae almost dropped his pen upstairs. The final trap was the hardest. Now, Hayan said seriously, you must survive our prank. Olivia tilted her head. Prank? Yes, Hannah smirked. And we already set it up. Olivia narrowed her eyes. This sounds dangerous. It's not dangerous, Hayan assured. Just funny. The twins led Olivia into the hallway, where they had tied a string between two chairs at ankle level. A bucket filled with colorful feathers dangled precariously above the doorway. You must walk through, Hannah explained, without touching anything. Olivia eyed the setup, then smirked. Oh, so this is how it's going to be? She suddenly bent down, untied the string, and tiptoed past the doorway. The twins gasped. No fair, Hayan cried. You cheated. It's called being smart, Olivia teased, sticking out her tongue. Trap avoided. The twins groaned dramatically, flopping onto the floor. But then, Olivia turned back, pretending to accidentally bump the chair. The bucket tipped, and feathers rained down on her head. She twirled under the falling feathers like a ballerina, laughing. Look, now I'm a magical chicken. The twins laughed so hard they couldn't breathe. Tears streamed down their faces as they rolled on the carpet. We love her, Hannah wheezed. She's the best, Hayan shouted. That evening, when Min-jae came to check on them, he found his daughter sitting in Olivia's lap on the sofa, their eyes heavy with sleep as she read them a story. They had never let anyone, not even their grandmother, tuck them in like that. For a moment, Min-jae stood frozen, his throat tight. His daughters looked so peaceful, so safe. And Olivia, she looked as though she belonged there. When she noticed him watching, she smiled softly, putting a finger to her lips. Shoo, Olivia whispered. Your cheeky miracle twins are finally asleep. And for the first time in 7 years, Min-jae whispered back with a smile. Thank you. The mansion was unusually quiet the next morning. Too quiet. Min-jae sat in his study, sipping his coffee while flipping through contracts. Normally, the twins would be barging in by now, fighting over who got to braid whose hair, or singing K-pop at the top of their lungs. But today, silence, which for him was more terrifying than noise. Appa, Hannah's voice suddenly echoed from the hallway. We need a meeting. Yes, an emergency family meeting, Hayan added. Before Min-jae could respond, the twins stormed into his study, dragging a large piece of cardboard covered in glitter and stickers. What is this? He asked, lowering his papers. Our master plan, Hannah said proudly. Plan for what? For fixing your life, Hayan replied matter-of-factly. The cardboard was a colorful calendar, messily drawn with markers. At the top, in giant letters, it read, Family Day. Min-jae rubbed his temples. And what exactly is Family Day? It's when you, us, and Olivia spend the whole day together, Hannah explained. Yes, Hayan added with a smug grin. No work, no excuses, no business calls. Just family. Min-jae froze. Olivia. Yes, Olivia. The twins shouted together, as if it was obvious. He cleared his throat. Olivia is not. She is. Hannah interrupted. She passed all our tests, Hayan said firmly. She's officially approved. Min-jae pinched the bridge of his nose. His daughters, once fierce little dragons who scared away every woman within a mile, were now begging him to spend time with one. Appa, Hannah said, softening her voice. You look lonely sometimes. Hayan nodded. We don't want you to be sad anymore. His heart squeezed painfully. He wanted to argue, but their big, round eyes made it impossible. By noon, Olivia arrived as usual with her sketchbook. She barely stepped inside before the twins tackled her with hugs. Olivia, you're invited to Family Day, Hannah shouted. Olivia blinked. Family Day. Yes, and you can't say no. Hayan said, dragging her deeper into the house. It's a rule. Olivia looked confused, glancing at Min-jae for answers. But all he could do was shrug helplessly. Apparently, I've been overruled. The twins clapped their hands in victory. The first activity on the family day schedule was board games. They set up a giant game of snakes and ladders in the living room. Olivia and the twins sat cross-legged on the carpet while Min-jae reluctantly joined, loosening his tie. Hannah rolled the dice first. 6. Yay! Hayan rolled next. 3. Boo! Then Olivia rolled and landed on a snake. The twins cackled. Ha ha ha! You lose already! Olivia gasped dramatically, flopping onto the carpet. The snake ate me. I'm doomed. The twins laughed so hard they rolled around the floor. Min-jae caught himself smiling, really smiling, as he watched his daughters glow with joy. Next on the schedule, cooking lunch together. The kitchen became chaos again. Hannah insisted on making sandwiches shaped like hearts. Hayan poured juice but spilled half of it on the counter. Olivia juggled ingredients like a circus clown to make them laugh, while Min-jae stood by, arms crossed, pretending not to be amused. Appa, help! Hannah suddenly demanded. I don't cook, he replied flatly. Liar! Hayan shouted. We saw you boiling ramen once. Olivia snorted. Boiling ramen doesn't count. The twins gasped in betrayal. Appa lied to us? Min-jae glared at Olivia, who just stuck out her tongue at him behind the twins' backs. In the end, lunch was messy but delicious. They sat around the table, eating heart-shaped sandwiches and laughing at Olivia's silly impressions of teachers. After lunch came the outdoor adventure. The twins dragged Olivia and their father into the garden, where they had set up a picnic blanket and kites. Appa, you hold the string, Hannah ordered. Olivia, you run with the kite, Hayan shouted. Soon, the sky was filled with bright colors as the kites soared high. The twins squealed and clapped, running barefoot across the grass. Olivia chased them, laughing breathlessly, her braids bouncing behind her. Min-jae stood still for a moment watching the scene. His daughters were happy, really happy. Their laughter echoed through the garden like music. And Olivia, she fit into the picture so naturally, it startled him. When the sun began to set, the twins declared the final event of family day. Story time. They curled up on the couch, sandwiching Olivia in the middle, while Min-jae sat across from them. Tell us a story about when you were little, Hannah demanded. Yes, but it has to be funny, Hayan added. Olivia thought for a moment, then launched into a hilarious story about climbing a mango tree in her grandmother's backyard, only to get stuck and cry until the neighbors rescued her. The twins laughed until they had hiccups. You're the funniest, Hannah squealed. You should live here forever, Hayan declared. Olivia blushed, glancing nervously at Min-jae. His eyes met hers for just a moment before he quickly looked away. That night, after Olivia left, the twins cornered their father. So, Hannah asked expectantly. So what? Do you like her? Hayan pressed. Min-jae sighed. She's different. Different good or different bad? Hannah squinted. Different good, he admitted quietly. The twins squealed and high-fived each other. Operation Get Daddy a Girlfriend is working, Hannah whispered loudly. Shoo, Hayan hissed. He can hear you. But Min-jae just shook his head, hiding the small smile tugging at his lips. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a man carrying the weight of the world. He felt like a father living in a home again. The twins had been suspiciously quiet all week, which meant trouble. Min-jae should have known. Whenever his daughters tiptoed around the house whispering and giggling, it was the calm before a storm. But with back-to-back meetings, he had been too distracted to investigate. Until Saturday morning. Appa! Hannah burst into his room at dawn, wearing a flower crown made of paper daisies. You must wake up now, Hayan added, dragging a tie from his closet. We're late for the ceremony. Min-jae sat up groggily. Ceremony? Yes, Appa, Hannah said solemnly. Today's your wedding. Downstairs, the mansion looked like a carnival had exploded. The dining table was covered in a white bedsheet altar. Dolls in tiny tuxedos were lined up like groomsmen. Balloons and glitter paper decorated the walls. And in the center of the room was Olivia, dragged in by the twins, wearing one of the housemaid's aprons as a wedding dress. "Surprise!" the twins shouted. "We're marrying you two today." Olivia's eyes went wide. "Wait, what? I didn't agree to this," Min-jae barked. "You don't have to," Hannah said smugly. "We're in charge." Haein clapped her hands. "Now, everyone, take your positions." The twins forced Min-jae into his suit jacket, shoving him toward the altar. Olivia tried to protest, but Hannah shoved a bouquet of fake roses into her hands. "Don't fight destiny," Hannah declared dramatically. "Yes," Haein added, raising a toy microphone. "We already know you two like each other." Olivia's cheeks flushed scarlet. "Excuse me?" Min-jae coughed loudly. "That's enough, you two. This is ridiculous." But the twins ignored him, giggling as they arranged the dolls like guests. The ceremony began with Haein acting as the officiator. "We are gathered here today," she said in her most serious voice, "to join our Appa and Olivia in holy something. It's holy matrimony," Hannah whispered. "Yeah, that." Haein nodded. The twins then held hands and chanted, "Do you, Appa, promise to stop being grumpy and eat more pancakes?" Min-jae glared. "This is absurd." "Say yes," Hannah shouted. "Yes," he muttered, earning squeals of joy. "Do you, Olivia?" Haein continued. "Promise to play with us forever and never run away like the others?" Olivia softened, glancing at the twins' hopeful faces. "Yes," she said gently. The girls jumped up and down, clapping their hands. Just as they were about to shout, "Kiss, kiss, kiss," Min-jae finally snapped. "Enough!" he barked, louder than he meant to. The twins froze, wide-eyed. Hannah's lips trembled. Haein lowered her toy microphone. Olivia stepped forward quickly, kneeling down to the girls' level. "Hey, hey," she said softly, touching their cheeks. "Don't cry. Your Appa isn't angry." "Yes, I am," Min-jae grumbled, but his chest ached when he saw the tears forming in their eyes. Hannah whispered, "We just wanted you to be happy." "Yeah," Haein sniffled. "You're always alone. We thought if we made you marry Olivia, you wouldn't be lonely anymore." The room fell silent. Min-jae's throat tightened. He crouched down, pulling both girls into his arms. "You two little monsters," he whispered, his voice breaking. "You've been protecting me all this time, haven't you?" They nodded, tears wetting his shirt. Olivia's eyes softened as she watched them. She had known these twins were mischievous and cheeky, but seeing them so vulnerable made her heart ache. "You know," she said gently, "happiness isn't something you can force with a wedding." The twins sniffled. "But it worked in dramas." Olivia chuckled. "Real life is different. Real happiness takes time." Min-jae met her gaze. For a moment, the world stilled. There was something in her eyes, warmth, patience, kindness, that he hadn't seen in years. He cleared his throat, looking away quickly. "They're impossible. They're miraculous," Olivia corrected with a smile. That night, as Min-jae tucked the twins into bed, they clung to his arms. "Appa," Hannah whispered, "don't be mad at us." "I'm not mad," he murmured, kissing their foreheads. "I'm proud, but you have to let me handle grown-up things, all right? Promise us you won't be sad anymore," Haein said sleepily. "I promise." When they finally drifted off, Min-jae lingered by the doorway. Olivia was waiting in the hallway, her arms folded. "You handled that well," she said softly. He sighed. "They're stubborn. They get it from me." Olivia chuckled. "Maybe, but their hearts are in the right place." There was a pause. Then, almost shyly, Min-jae added, "Thank you for today." "For them." Olivia smiled gently. "Anytime." And though nothing more was said, both of them knew something had shifted. The twins' fake wedding hadn't created a family overnight, but it had planted a seed. And for the first time in years, Min-jae let himself imagine a future where laughter, pancakes, and cheeky miracle twins filled his home. For real.
Hello besties, in this sweet story we learn that love and family are not defined by perfection but by the little miracles of laughter, acceptance and healing hearts. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, subscribe and share.